everyone. Welcome to SMB Stories, Small Businesses, Big Opportunity, Lessons from MSME Trenches. Today I will be in conversation with Faisal Ahmed. He's the founder of Success. It's a menswear brand from Madurai. Faisal is an accidental entrepreneur, if I can say that. But today he has gone on to build a very successful brand, thanks mainly to his, sharp business acumen and unique marketing style. If you are from Tamil Nadu, you know he has about 9 stores across Tamil Nadu. The 10th one, I think he's ready to start anytime once the lockdown is over. And you must have seen the crowd that throngs his stores whenever he has a store opening or when he starts a new campaign related. And for those who are not familiar with it, I'll show you one picture just to see, get a sense of what it looks like outside. This is inside his store. In fact, outside also, he has this huge queue going on, people queuing up, and police, oftentimes the police has to be got in for crowd management, right? So welcome, Faisal, to SMB Story, and I'm happy to have you here today. This kind of crowd.
It's my pleasure, Deepthi.
This kind of a crowd in today's COVID reality is going to be a big no-no, right? Like, what are you thinking now? And what have you been thinking about your business in this lockdown? Tell us.
Okay, so what am I thinking about my business in this lockdown? So definitely we underwent lots of failures in our tenure of business. So that I don't think so this is a setback for us. Definitely in military training, they would used to say that it's always 2 steps forward and 1 step backward. And still will be 1 step forward. And I would consider this phase as 1 step for backward for our consolidation phase. So this is our consolidation phase. Lots of things we would have not done before. So now this is a time like we could use it very productively to use this time, so that we have not thought back or we have not regretted for this time. And the second question what you asked was about the crowd. No. So definitely the picture you shared was actually the launch photos. But then usually we'll also be having a good flow of customers. But then I would confidently say on behalf of my team that all these customers are in touch with us even now, and we are also in touch with them. We are not physically connected, but then definitely we are connected now.
So Faisal, we were talking earlier and you did say that you are still doing the sales and sales are happening, and that you have managed to tell us what have you been doing in these, what's the strategy for this, and when you open up, when the lockdown opens, what from there?
Okay, actually we were not doing sales, but then we focused, all these days we were not focusing on many things. So this time we tried to focus a different customer segment, because our customers are the bottom of the pyramid customers, and now we studied research and we thought like definitely this point of time the bottom of the pyramid has to expand. So we need to focus on the upper level of the customers as well, because like some might be buying shirts 1,000 rupees and now they might also think of buying shirts at lesser prices. So we thought of targeting a new set of customers, and so we highly focused on the marketing strategies. We actually educated our customers and the followers with savings tips and how to reduce the lavish spendings, and how to be very cautious in the spendings. And with regard to crowd also, more crowd is also a problem. And again, our crowd is a UVP as well. I won't say it as a USP, because people won't come to our store because there is crowd, but that crowd pulls them to come inside the store. So definitely, like, crowd is also to be balanced here. So more of crowd will also be a problem, and less crowd will also be a problem. Because I read an article that happened in China, that happened the revenge shopping, when in the first days of Hermes cracked around $2.7 million business. So such sort of business, I don't think so it will happen in India, because people here, they are like very much not that aggressive. But then we are focused on that segment of the customers, and we are focused that target customers, and we are expecting those set of customers after the lockdown period. We are getting feedbacks and testimonies from them as well.
Yeah, one thing that stood out for me was you said that you have now you're targeting another set, which is because cash will be a problem for many people, right? It's only going to be essentials, and who's going to come and like, so you have upped your target customer, right? Just tell us a little bit about that, and how are you reaching them, and what is that marketing strategy that you are applying?
Yeah, actually, we were in touch with the customers for the past 40 days. Our team members, we allocated a team, and each team member is talking to around 80 customers per day. And for the past 40 days, our entire team have covered around 45,000 customers personally. See, they inquired about their health, and they apologized for calling at this time, and they said like we are idle this time, and so we thought we can talk to you and inquire about your health, and then this is the time we can also ask about the testimony of success products and what points we need to improve after the lockdown. All these were interacted with the customers, and then that is all documented here for us to consider as the improvement points. And also we made sure that daily 2 posts are posted in all our social media pages, because we have around 1 million followers in our pages, and so we were in touch, and those posts were also related to like engaging our customers. We actually posted some puzzles, and those puzzles were also related to hygiene aspects and savings aspects. We were giving tips on savings, and in turn that savings will in turn connect to our brand. So that's how we actually strategized our marketing things. And also we were not present in many social media platforms, and now we are present, because we were just in Instagram and Facebook, and now we are across in Twitters and Hello App Share, Chat, TikTok. Everywhere we are there, and we are connected to the customers daily. Definitely we are in touch with the customers, and the customers are in touch with us.
One of the biggest thing that is going on in entrepreneurs' mind right now would be the cash flow, right? No business has happened in these days of the lockdown. How is that cash flow? How are you managing that? And what would you like to tell other entrepreneurs about how you're managing?
See, cash part, I would say, like whether I'm earning 8,000 per month or 8 lakhs per month, it's about my spending behavior or my saving behavior which determines. See, like people who have earning 8 lakhs per month is also grudging now. Like, I don't have money. And people who was earning 8,000 per month is also grudging. And on the other hand, I would say like people who was earning 8,000 is also in the comfort zone. So it's up to the spending behavior. So I would say that the biggest learning COVID has taught us personally is to be a human. And this time, like we have actually focused on the needs much on the wants. See, for the past 20 days, I have not taken out my wallet. So we are just focusing on the needs more than on the wants. I think this is the biggest learning personally for me that COVID has taught as a human, and we have been with the family, and we have chatted with friends, with our team, with our vendors, landlords, and they're definitely like talking to them also. I was interacting with them regarding the cash. The cash flow is the point. Everywhere it's cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. And definitely this is the biggest learning everyone would learn at this point in time, I guess.
Yeah, but you also mentioned that, one of the things is to have at least 3 months of cash flow there any time of the year, and that you are glad that you have always maintained that, and hence you did not have to worry about it. One more thing that you also mentioned, that immediately after this situation happened, and there was, of course, there's uncertainty. It helped you to also be in touch with other entrepreneurs, right? And you kind of had a networking session. And tell us a little bit about what are the others saying?
Okay. I remember on the day 23rd when PM announced lockdown, we had a closed chat with one of the leading entrepreneurs in Madurai, and then he told only one point, the one sentence made all the meaning. Actually, he said that he told, definitely you'll be living at the end of the 40th day to tell the tale, but then you make sure that you'll be loving to tell the tale. And only that half an hour, I was just sitting idle. And after that, I think till now, I need another 10 days of time to prepare ourselves, to prepare our team, and prepare our organization. And as you said, cash is definitely the king. And no doubt, because as the title of this session also mentioned, where is money? Since we have faced many failures in our earlier stage, we used to hold cash reserves always. And also, we are a debt-free company. We don't have any outside loan, and we are an inventory-light company. So there is no big cash loss. I won't say there's big cash loss, but I would say it's an opportunity loss. That's it. Because these 2 months of sale we have lost, that's all. But then we have not lost any cash, I would say, because it's just the opportunity loss. So our worries were not in the cash part. It was only to how to use cash intellectually. Also, we strongly believed businesses never fail because of short of businesses. Businesses fail because of short of financial mismanagement. So we focus, because this is just the short of businesses. This will not lead to failure of a business. So only if we are not managing our finances well, we will lead to shortages of businesses. We'll be on the darker side. So that's why we focused more on the financial management. We scrutinized our payables. We focused on our receivables, and then we shrunk the expenses, gave training to our team members, created awareness that these are not expenses, because expenses are those what we spend today, and the income will give us back the expenses of the same day. But then this is not expenses. This should be considered as an investment. So whatever is spent today, after 2 months, immediately after the lockdown, we need to get back. Those money has to bounce back to us double the speed of what we have invested. So that is what was taught to our team, and our culture, our mindset, everything was focused towards that. So whatever we invest today has to bounce back to us as soon as possible after the lockdown. So all these was done, and because to overcome the COVID health-wise, we need to develop our body immunity, and to overcome the COVID economic crisis, we need to develop our financial immunity. For the next year, whoever is going to be cash richer, whoever is going to sustain in their business for the next 1 year is definitely going to rock the very next year.
You have a large team, you have stores there, right? Of course, some of those stores are not yours, and you have to pay rent, right? How are you managing that part of it, of the business? Where are you trying to save money? Have you laid off people? What is happening in that front to save money?
See, we are talking, our major stakeholders are customers and vendors and our employees, and the landlords as well. So now the expenses part will fall on the expenses part will cover the employees, the vendors, and the landlords. So we are in close touch with the landlords. We're explaining them the situation. We are motivating them. We are telling them what is the actual scenario of it, and we are disclosing. We are very transparent to them, and we are saying them this was the sale last year, this month, and this is the sale this month. And all these we are talking to the landlords, and landlords are they're saying their only commitment is EMI, and our commitments, we have got many commitments. So we are interacting with them, and we were told that this is just a phase, this is just a pause in between. So just 2 or 3 months of time is not going to make a big difference in your place and as well as in our place. And so we have convinced them, and they have also got convinced actually, and 2-3 of our landlords have come voluntarily forward and told that you pay only this much, and let us variabilize our fixed expenses. And all these happen. And even our team members, daily we had a chat with our team members. Past 40 days, daily we had a Zoom call with our team members. We discussed with them. One hours of quality discussion happened, and it was wonderful actually. And they themselves came with lots of ideas as to how to bring down the expenses. We have not laid down, but then we have variabilized the costs. And then we are actually, ours is a very model-wise sort of a business model, so that wherever we can
could you just elaborate that little business model for our audience here?
Yeah, see, model-wise in the sense, whenever, immediately, usually we'll be having temporary employees in our stores. So whenever the sale arises, or during the launch time, during the festive time, we'll be having temporary employees, and during the regular time, we'll be having the permanent employees. So that whenever we need, we can increase, we can decrease, and then during the time they come to work, they'll be paid high. So they'll also understand that only when during this time we'll be called for, and all those things, wherever, again, the EB things can be brought up. And apart from rental, EB and the salaries, we don't have very big commitments as well. And even these are just the 3 parts. So these 3 parts are being modelized. We can even fluctuate whenever, it can be flexible wherever it is possible. And the investment part, we are very light asset model. Whenever we open a store, we take out the investment in just 21 days. So as of now, we don't have any burden on the investment. We need to repay the capital or such things like that. So we are actually free. Our focus is only to use the cash at the time effectively.
Mm-hmm. So manufacturing, I believe you have vendors who manufacture your menswear. You have shirts, pants, denims. I guess these are the your inventory, right, in the store. And you said you have different kind of like samples and stuff. So tell us a little bit about that. And now with the lockdown, I'm sure they are also not going to be working. So what about your stock? How are you going to manage that stock inventory?
Okay, stock inventory, like as I said earlier, ours is a very light inventory model so that we don't have any heavy inventories now. So like now the North India is stuck. So Bombay, yesterday I was talking to a vendor in Bombay and he said we are all dependent on the migrant laborers and they've all gone. And even if I decide to open tomorrow, it will take another 3 months of my time to get settled to the same place where I was. So the North India is actually stuck. We are now dependent on Bangalore and Tirupur. And so where they have started the operations, and the logistics is also very nearby to us in Tamil Nadu, so that we have started the next set of planning for the sourcing as well. And they have started, and we have also motivated them, we've also trained them, we have told them that you should be ready now because B2B is going to flourish in the coming days, and now India is going to be the fashion capital because all the other countries are now going to depend on India since China is not there. And so like definitely B2B has got scopes. So we are motivating them and they are also motivated and they are ready, because in our industry we could see some lights at the distance as well compared to the other industry. So that definitely will come back. And then the logistics is actually a small problem, but then it's not a very big thing. We can come out of it. Contingency plan is made.
But also tell us, like, what is the kind of, like, you said you haven't like taken away the orders, whatever orders you had placed with the vendors for manufacturing, it's there. Where all do you have these vendors across the country, you said? So if you could just tell us a little bit about that, how is that panning out for you?
Yeah, we have vendors across India. I mean, literally we have got around 13 places wherein our products are coming. And
like,
we spoke of right from Delhi, Ludhiana, and down the line Ahmedabad, Bombay, Ulhasnagar, Tirupur, Bellary, Bangalore, Indore, and Delhi we have 2 places, Gandhinagar and the Karol Bagh. So all these places, like we spoke to the vendors and we told them that we will be making the payment on time, so we won't be tracking your payments and we won't be returning your goods. And whatever orders we have placed you for the past 1 month, we'll be 100% taking it, so don't cancel the orders. So our orders are assured. And after opening, don't think that we'll be having inventories and we'll be returning you back. So we won't be returning back your goods. So be confident, be ready for the next production, and your payments will also be received. So that they were expecting for the payments from the debtors everywhere. Everywhere the payments are very slow. So that we gave the confidence that we'll be giving you the payments immediately, and we have also processed the payments. So this is how we have given the confidence, and they are also like all set. So it's like completely, it's all a team's thing, and the cycle shouldn't get affected anywhere else. It's just the stakeholders' cycle.
The Prime Minister announced this big package of 20 lakh crores, to revive the economy. And what do you have to say? There were a lot of announcements made for MSMEs, etc. What is your take on that? And how is it going to be helpful for you?
Yeah, actually, to be honest, Finance Minister has announced lots of schemes, and then and they've almost. But we should translate the schemes to our own business and read it. See, many loans being offered for MSEs and interest cuts are offered. But since I'm a debt-free company and I have not availed the interest loan, I would also not suggest anyone to take loans at this point of time, because I would say cash is the least requisite. If you sit and work your balance sheet, definitely you will find a way where to raise the capital. So if you sit and work on your working capital, definitely you will find a way. You can talk to the stakeholders, you can talk to your vendors, you can talk to your landlords, and definitely you talk to the debtors to get the receivables, and definitely we'll get a solution. Let us not find today's solution. We should always find a long-term solution, for which I will not suggest at this point of time loan at this point of time, because I have crossed a very big financial crisis, more than this 5 years back. At that point of time, I didn't have any cash. So definitely I would say those who can't make cash without cash can't make cash with cash. So I repeat, those who can't make cash without cash can't make cash with cash. So keep this in mind. So
nice tongue twister. Yeah.
So definitely, see, like if you are really a good entrepreneur, you should be able to drive a Maruti car at 120 kilometers speed. It is not a big deal to drive a BMW car at 120 kilometers speed. Definitely, if you buy a BMW car, you can drive at 120 kilometers speed. But then without cash, you should be able to run your business. And definitely, if you sit with the balance sheet, sit with the team, definitely we will find a way to find where all we can raise the capital. And if you're not practice towards loan, definitely don't avail the loan this time. This is today's solution. Tomorrow will be put under the burden. So always be in a very free stage, modular stage. We should be able to be very flexible wherever it is possible. So we should be versatile always. So this is what I would suggest. So cash is not a very big deal. It's the least requisite.
So we are getting a lot of questions as well from the audience, and I'll pick a couple of them, for you to answer. But before that, I would also like to tell the audience that actually Faisal is known for his unique marketing strategies, and like he's been doing a lot of things, as he said in the beginning, with social media, right? He's now on TikTok. He's right now on various things. I have seen a couple of his videos that they put out during Eid and during Diwali and all of that. They are like really nice big Tamil movies, I think, more than 3 minutes long. Just tell us right now that you are using this lockdown. How are you using this lockdown for your online strategy? And also we'll talk about, like, are you going to go online because there'll be so much of hygiene issues, there'll be a whole lot of other kind of issues. So will you let's talk about that as well. Would you like to move online from offline? Before that, if you could just tell us a little bit about your online marketing strategy.
Okay, first I would like to say that offline retail, since the caption was also that, definitely offline retail will not go, because shopping is not just buying products. It's definitely an experience. So people will come out of their houses after 40 days of home quarantine and wish to hang out. Also, it's not the retail has come down, it's only the buying power which has come down. So definitely I would say that offline retail will not vanish. Definitely it's going to bounce back. But then the same brick and mortar store will not work hereafter. We need to think something apart from what we have. Because I was talking to one of my friends yesterday, and she said, "I'm ready to even buy jewelry online if he's able to show me like how I look when I wear the jewelry." So some ritual sort of concept. So we have started working on that. It's a ritual concept as to how like we can trace the video of the person and then make them feel how they look after they wear the shirt. But then so certain things, what we have taken is now, since yesterday we have launched a strategic marketing called video shopping. So that has received so much of responses, wherein our customers can call for an appointment for a video call, and our team will show, over the video call they'll show all the samples, and then whatever they select will go and deliver to them at their home. So this is one thing we have tried now, and we have launched the website as well. And then through that, and we have started to work on what is to be feel and what is to be look. So see, like those has to be feel, definitely they'll have to come to the shop and then feel, and the fit has to fit in, and then only then they can buy. But then what can be look and what? So those things we are sorting out, and then that we are bringing into the e-commerce website, and they can see those like innerwears and tracksuits and bermudas, and all that need not be felt. So that they can just see and buy. So all those things we have started planning on it, and we have done that. And saving strategy we have started. We have mostly all advertisements and videos are now focusing on the savings aspect. Don't do lavish spendings. Your money is so valuable, be calculated and then buy. This is how we are doing on the marketing side.
And what I understand is you reach out to customers not through newspaper ads perhaps, but you have your own WhatsApp groups. And how many customers are there in that that you reach out to at one point of time?
Okay, at one point per day we reach up to maximum of 20,000 people. Mm-hmm. And we have around 7 lakh customers in our database. Mm-hmm. So we make sure we reach up to 20,000 people through WhatsApp, and we also have WhatsApp groups wherein we have constant interaction with the customers. Mm-hmm. So that's the most powerful medium now. Mm-hmm. We are not at all in the we are only in the digital platform. We are not in the conventional platform.
Mm-hmm. So one more thing, a lot of questions about this as well coming in, that once the lockdown is over, once you open your stores, how are you going? Because it's going to be a very different way of opening your store, right? It's not going to encourage crowding. You have to maintain social distancing. Tell us what all precautions are you taking for that?
Yeah, we have actually, we are not supposed to switch on the AC, so we have added fans across. And our stores are not that so big, so that the ventilation is there, sufficient ventilation is there. And we have done all the social distancing marks with 6 feet capping. And we have allotted, see, depending upon the square feet of the store, we have allotted like how many customers are allowed inside to be in the store at a single point of time. And then everyone is allowed to wear the masks, and then only when the customers are wearing the mask, they are allowed inside. And we have also started a campaign of 3 masks of 20 rupees, and that has actually reached at a very high speed. And daily we are actually selling around 1,000 masks in a single store, and also sanitizing, hand sanitizing, and we are giving gloves to all customers, because they have a myth that if one touches the clothes and then again if touches it gets transmitted. So we are giving that reusable, not the reusable one, the disposable gloves to all the customers, and they are wearing it, and all our staff are also wearing it, and it's fine. And more, I think.
Yeah, but what about like people would do you allow that that they can try out their shirts, etc.? Because that's going to be a big issue now, right?
Yeah, we are not allowing them to trial, but then they are just keeping in seeing it. We are not allowing the trials now, but then they can go and wear it, and they are coming back. If it is not getting fitted, we are allowing it, and but we are desanitizing. We are sanitizing those clothes and keeping it for 3 days, and then only they are bringing back to the shelves. But as of now, we are avoiding trials because it's all sizes. We are allowing them to just see it, and it's 95% there won't be any problem. So they are also understanding the situation. So exchange and trials are avoided at this point in time, because considering the current situation.
You know, Faisal, you have a very interesting story. In fact, you kept on saying that, like, about cash. You, at one point of time, you were nearly bankrupt and you lost money. And I said in the intro that you are an accidental entrepreneur. You wanted to study further, and you had to join your father's business because there was some debt to be paid. Just quickly take us through your story of how you got into entrepreneurship, and now you are here to stay.
Okay, actually, as I always say, like, you have written the story of mine.
Yes,
actually,
we have. So for audience, please do read his story. It's on your story, SMB story. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, like, I got into the business at the age of 19, and I was forced to get into the business because I was supposed to go abroad and study. But then at the age of 19, we were in the position wherein we need to, we had assets, but then we don't have cash. And for us to meet our family expenses and bread and butter, we need to start some business to generate revenue, and that is how I got into the business. And we started the business at a very low price. We sold our vehicle, and then even at that point of time, we didn't get loan. But then my father gave me the amount, and then we started this. And we started at a very smaller place, but then after, as and when we earned, we just grew. It was an organic growth. And at that point,
right? You started at.
We started in 2006 when I was 19. Okay. 2006 we started, and from 2006 till 2011 it was an organic growth. And at 2011, after a point of 5 years time, like I was at the age of around 23, 24, I felt a little monotony sort of an entrepreneurship journey, so that I want to do something different. And that's how we thought, like, we should open stores. And we should have a separate brand. We should have a unique branding, because we are selling it to the MBOs, the branded outlets. They are selling, and we don't have any brand mileage there. And that is how we thought, like, we should start our own stores, and that is how we moved into retail. And the first phase of our retail was an utter failure. We went into a high loss. We ran under cash loss, and our expenses of single day expenses will be around 12,000, 13,000 rupees, and our single sale will be around 999 rupees. And that is when we decided to close our Erode store first, because the expenses of the Erode store was very big. And that is how in order to close the store, we launched a offer, like 7 shirts for 1,000, and the previous day sale was 999, and the next day sale was 3.5 lakh rupees. And it happened for the next 3 days, and that's when my then manager, and now our regional manager, Mr. Ram, like, he suggested, he's still with us, and he called me the other day and told, why not we continue the same sort of business model. And that is how it evolved. And we started with nothing. And that point of time, we had a 1 crore debt, and but still now we are a debt-free company. This is how it evolved.
Wow. So, you know, Faisal, a few learnings from this unprecedented situation which we are in. We've never seen this happen. Lockdown, shops closed, everywhere. Everybody's in the same soup. Like, what is your say, top 3 learnings from this crisis?
Okay, top 3 learnings I would say that personally my top 3 learnings is first, as I said, COVID has taught us to be a human. We have been with my family, we have chatted with my friends, and I have actually in this point of time, my native village friends, I have gathered around 1,000 friends, we have networked with the friends, and we have also formed a chamber of entrepreneurship, and that's the biggest learning first. We've got to know each other, we got to interact each other. That's the biggest learning, personal learning I would say. The second thing is I have started focusing on the needs, and the third biggest learning I would say is home food. Usually I would take twice a week I would go to restaurants to have outside food, but then now I'm enjoying the home food, my mom's food and my wife's food. And this is the 3 top learnings I would say personally and professionally. As I said, the first learning is always we should be cash rich. Always we should be, our bank accounts has to be filled. At least 6 months expenses. Now we have started to work on like 6 months expenses should be there, and at all point of time our creditors has to be settled. This is the first learning professionally, I would say, cash thing. The second thing I would say is the physical needs is not no more a bottleneck for the networking. Past 40 days we had nearly about 100 webinars, and I suppose if it had been a physical need, definitely not more than 50 would have been possible. So got more scope of learning, not only for me but also for my family members, also for my friends, also for my team members. Actually, my team members were engaged daily with the 3 hours of training, and that is again the biggest learning. And as I said, the second learning is definitely the learn, unlearn, and the relearn. It's where we have completely re-strategized our business. What we were working before will not have to work. So this was the time like we were actually moving as and when the wind was flowing. We were moving, but then this is the time we sat and we completely used our minds completely to reinvent completely. And that's the biggest learning professionally, because after a point of time, we should not sit in the comfort zone. We were actually, if this COVID situation would have not happened, we would have moved into the comfort zone. I would thank God that we have got this time so that we have consolidated and we have completely refreshed our the entire business working things.
You know, some of the questions came. One of the question was that what about going pan-India? Are you thinking of expanding pan-India, and when will that happen? And what do you see about that? Like,
actually, I would usually say that we are not competing in the market, but then we have created a market. So while seeing the market size, we have found out that South India's menswear low price market size is 27,000 crores, wherein we have just touched 60 crores. So we have got a lot more accumulation in the South India. Definitely after conquering the South Indian markets, definitely we'll be moving to the North Indian markets. And as you wrote in your story, our vision is to reach 420 stores. Each day, one day, my vision is to each day I should sell 1 container of garments and purchase 1 container of garments. And when you turn into a quantitative number, it will come to a 420 stores worth of sale and purchase. This is our vision. Definitely we'll go to the North India, but after covering most parts of South India, we'll definitely move to the North India.
Okay. There's one question here. Now, hi Faisal, post-COVID days for survival of any business, where should we focus and emphasize upon? Sales-centric, profit-centric, cost-cutting centric?
Okay, sales-centric, cost-cutting centric, and the third one is the profit.
Profit-centric.
Okay, I would say you should first focus on the cash flow. Cash flow, wherever, even when the profit is down, the cash flow has to be high, and you need to shrink the expenses, because sale now, I would say, there's nothing in our hands. You should be very smart enough to do your marketing strategy wherein it can bring in sale, but then don't fall into all those discount patterns. But definitely focus on the cash flow. What all goods, study your business, which is the goods which is contributing 80% of the sale, focus on those goods, and then focus on that. Focus on your cash flow, make your inventory turns very faster. When you invest, make sure you get the cash flow very faster and focus on the cash flow. This is the situation for the next 1 year. Post-COVID, I would suggest all the entrepreneurs in whichever field they are in.
One more question. With reduction in customer buying power, what would be the line of sustainability for offline retailers in tier 2 and 3 cities? The consumer buying power is going down. So what would you think is the line of sustainability?
It's a matter of another 1 or 2 months, ma'am. So it's a matter of 1 or 2 months, and particularly in the tier 3 cities, definitely they won't move to the online retail. They'll definitely, offline retail in the tier 3 cities will be good. So it's a matter of another 1 or 2 months time. You need to cut down your expenses. You need to modelize your expenses and try to shrink so that we cross this 2 months of time, and definitely the third month we'll be getting back the sale for sure.
Yeah. So somebody's just congratulated you. Very enthusiastic entrepreneur. Very inspiring.
Thank you very much.
Another question is, they want to know what's your mantra for sustaining and diversifying plans, if any. I think you did answer that during your thing, but if you can just recap.
I couldn't get you.
What is the mantra? What is your mantra for sustaining and diversifying your business?
I have not diversified my business.
If that's the plan that you have.
Okay, sustainability. Each and every day is my new day. So each and every day we will be seeing the profit and loss account. Daily morning, without seeing the profit, the previous day's profit, I won't move to my work. So daily profit and loss account in my culture, the accounts culture. So whenever we are deviating, like an ECG report, it will give us an alarm signal. So that's the reason for our sustainability. And diversifying, we have not diversified. We have highly focused only on menswear. We are getting more inquiries for the women's wear even, but then we are not focusing on that because we are very much sure that we are very much sure on our philosophy that it be inch wide and mile deep. And our focus is only on the menswear because we have got more lots to achieve in the menswear.
Could you just repeat that? What did you say?
Inch wide and mile deep.
Inch wide?
Inch wide and it's mile deep. It's a philosophy mile deep. So whatever you focus, the focus has to be deeper. You shouldn't scatter your focus. So we are not in the plans of diversifying is what I'm saying. So whichever is your core business, concentrate on your core business and then go deeper in that and achieve the maximum market size. Only when you think that your market doesn't grow, you diversify. Unless and until you have a good market scope and market size, please don't diversify your business.
Will you be franchising this? I mean, you do have a franchisee model, right?
As of now, we have not started the franchisee process. But then in future, we'll be starting we'll be letting out to the franchisees. We are working on it. Definitely in another 1 year's time, we'll be letting out franchises.
What are the major challenges in the garment industry due to COVID, and how can we overcome them?
Due to government?
In the garment industry, the garment like apparel industry, what is the major challenges?
The migrant labors, the production, and then new creation. Again, we are focused on the fashion. It's a fashion-oriented industry, so that if you are not updated in the fashion, definitely will be out. So that I don't know how the vendors and the manufacturers are going to concentrate on the fashion. I don't know how much inventory they have got at the back. So they need to dispose all those things, and only then they can start thinking on the new fashion. So this is again a big challenge for us in our particular own industry.
You know, a lot of people from Tamil Nadu have also joined us, and many from your network also, and have requested if we can speak in Tamil, and for their benefit, just for their benefit, if you could just run your business learnings, those 3 business learnings in Tamil with the audience. Yeah.
Okay, first சொல்லணும்னா Tamil people வந்து ரொம்ப resilient people. அதாவது வடிவேல் வந்து படத்துல சொன்ன மாதிரி எவ்வளவு அடிச்சாலும் தாங்குவோம் நம்ம. அதனால இந்த இடத்துல இருந்து நம்ம கண்டிப்பா மீண்டெடுத்துவோம். So first confidence is the first key I would like to say. அது வந்து கண்டிப்பா கான்ஃபிடன்ஸை விட்டுறாதீங்க. இது வந்து just 3 months ஒரு பிரேக் தானே ஒழிய இதை தாண்டி வேற ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது. அப்ப என்னுடைய லேர்னிங்ஸ்ன்னு சொல்லணும் அப்படின்னு சொன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பர்சனல் லேர்னிங்ஸ் வந்து ஹோம் ஃபுட் சாப்பிடுறோம், அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து நீட்ஸுக்கு மட்டும் ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்றோம், எது தேவையோ அதுக்கு மட்டும் செலவழிக்கிறோம், தேவையில்லாததுக்கு செலவழிக்கல. இந்த இடத்துல ரொம்ப ஃப்ரூகலா இருந்து கத்துக்கிட்டோம். சோ அது ஒரு பிக்கஸ்ட் லேர்னிங். அதுக்கப்புறம் இந்த டைம்ல வந்து நிறைய பேர்த்த நம்ம மீட் பண்ணக்கூடிய சான்சஸ் கிடைச்சிச்சு. என்னுடைய வில்லேஜ்ல இவ்வளவு நாள் நான் வந்து அந்த வில்லேஜ்க்கு சும்மா நான் கல்யாணத்துக்கு மட்டும் போயிட்டு இருக்கிற அந்த வில்லேஜ்ல வந்து பல்லப்பட்டி இட்ஸ் கால், அங்க வந்து we have formed a network. ஒரு 1000 பீப்புளோட நம்ம நெட்வொர்க் ஃபார்ம் பண்ணி அங்க ஒரு சேம்பர் ஃபார்ம் பண்ணி அந்த இடத்துல we got a chance to network. இப்படி ஒரு கோவிட் சிச்சுவேஷன் இல்லைன்னா கண்டிப்பா நான் அதை பண்ணிருக்க முடியாது. சோ அது ஒரு இதெல்லாம் வந்து பர்சனல் லேர்னிங்ஸ் அண்ட் ப்ரொஃபஷனல் லேர்னிங்ஸ். கண்டிப்பான முறையில கேஷ் தான் நம்மளை வந்து காப்பாற்ற போகுது. எந்த ரூபத்திலயுமே வந்து கேஷ்னால நம்ம பிசினஸ் கம்மியாகுது இல்ல கேஷ்னால நம்மளால எதுவுமே செய்ய முடியாதுன்னு நினைக்காதீங்க. ஏன்னா எப்பயுமே வந்து பிசினஸ் கேஷ் இல்லாம ஃபால் ஆன பிசினஸ் கிடையவே கிடையாது. கண்டிப்பா வந்து பினான்சியல் மிஸ்மேனேஜ்மெண்ட்னாலதான் பிசினஸஸ் இன்னைக்கு படுத்துருக்கு. எனி ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் அடிச்சு சொல்லலாம். அதனால கண்டிப்பா வந்து இது வந்து ஜஸ்ட் ஃபால் ஆஃப் பிசினஸ் தான். இந்த ஷார்ட் ஃபால் ஆஃப் பிசினஸ்னால பிசினஸ் நம்ம ஒண்ணுமே இல்லாம ஆகாது. கண்டிப்பா நம்ம வந்து ஃபினான்ஷியல் மிஸ்மேனேஜ், ஃபினான்ஷியல் கரெக்டா மேனேஜ் பண்ணோம்னா கண்டிப்பா ஓவர் கம் பண்ணிடுவோம். அதனால இப்ப வந்து லோன்ஸ்க்கு போகாதீங்க. யாருக்கு வந்து காசை வச்சு காசு பண்ண தெரியும், காசு இல்லாம காசு பண்ண தெரியலையோ, உங்களுக்கு காசை வச்சுமே காசு பண்ண தெரியாது. சோ காசை எப்படி யூஸ் பண்றதுன்னு உங்களுக்கு தெரியாது. அதனால கண்டிப்பா கேஷ் இஸ் தி லீஸ்ட் ரெக்வெஸ்ட். அது வந்து ஒரு பிக்கெஸ்ட் லேர்னிங். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ப்ரொஃபஷனல் லேர்னிங். செகண்ட் வந்து இந்த இடத்துல வந்து முதலே சொல்லியிருக்காருங்க, ஃபியூச்சர் ஷாக் புக்ல வந்து the illiterates of the 21st century will be those who can't be those who can't learn, read and write, but those who can't learn, unlearn, relearn. அதனால எழுத படிக்க தெரிஞ்சவங்க, எழுத படிக்க தெரியாதவங்க வந்து இன்னைக்கு வந்து illiterates கிடையாது. இன்னைக்கு யாருனால நம்ம படிச்சதை வந்து திருப்பி அது எல்லாத்தையும் ஒரு சைட்ல வச்சுட்டு திருப்பி புதுசா கத்துக்க நம்ம தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறோமோ அவங்கதான் வந்து இன்னைக்கு illiterates. பண்ண முடியாம இருக்காங்களோ அவங்கதான் illiterates இருக்க முடியும். சோ அதனால இந்த இடத்துல நமக்கு என்னதான் இதுக்கு முன்னாடி தெரிஞ்சாலுமே இனிமேல் பிசினஸ் எல்லாமே பிஃபோர் கோவிட் ஆஃப்டர் கோவிட் மாறப்போகுது. அதனால இந்த இடத்துல நீங்க எவ்வளவு தூரத்துக்கு உங்க பிசினஸ் மாற்ற முடியுமோ, புதுப்பிக்க முடியுமோ, ரீஸ்ட்ராட்டஜைஸ் பண்ண முடியுமோ அதை கண்டிப்பா பண்ணுங்க. அதான் மிலிட்டரியில சொல்லுவாங்க 2 steps forward 1 step backward சொல்லுவாங்க. அதனால இது வந்து நமக்கு 1 step backward வந்தாலுமே நம்ம ஒரு ஸ்டெப் ஃபார்வர்ட் தான் இருப்போம். சோ அந்த 1 step backward அந்த இடம் தான் இந்த இடம். சோ இந்த இடத்துல கம்ப்ளீட்டா கன்சாலிடேட் பண்ணுங்க, டெக்னாலஜியில இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணுங்க, நிறைய உங்க பிசினஸ் ஸ்டடி பண்ணுங்க, ரிசர்ச் பண்ணுங்க. கண்டிப்பா வந்து அந்த இடத்துல வந்து நம்மளுக்கு வந்து கிடைக்கும். அந்த தேர்ட் திங் வந்து இனிமேல் பிசிக்கல் கான்டாக்ட் கூட பாட்டில் நிக்க கிடையாது. சோ நம்ம வந்து இனிமேல் என்ன நினைக்கிறோமோ அதை வந்து நம்ம பண்ணிக்கலாம். நம்ம வந்து ஆன்லைன்ல இந்த 40 daysல நம்ம பண்ணிடலாம்.
That's wonderful. You're sounding more passionate in your own mother tongue. Yeah, that's so much more beautiful and comes out so well. Thank you so much, Faisal, and we'll be in touch. And all the best to you.
Thank you very much, Deepthi. It's been a long time. We both conversed each other, and then it was I was enjoying the session actually.
Thank you.
I didn't know that 45 minutes went off. It was wonderful. But then I couldn't see some participants' faces, but still, I guess around 300 people were there.
Yeah,
thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
and thank you to everybody who is listening here. Just to tell you that our next SMB story, small businesses and big opportunities, lessons from MSME trenches, we'll have on May 19th, and we have a very interesting guest again with us, from the restaurant industry. And as you know, the restaurants are all shut and heavy losses there. So please be tuned in for that. And thank you so much for joining. Thanks a lot.